Yeah, welcome back to Paradise World Videos, and we've got some news for you, especially if you want to get into Spain through the back door. And I'm going to let you know how to do that, and of course all the other visas you can apply for. So we're going to go through it all today. And if it's your first time to the channel, make sure you subscribe, because we're going to be doing all the news updates, all the visas and all the latest news, especially if you want to come and live in Spain. Just before we take this walk along here in Punta Prima and down to a beautiful restaurant near the Nauticus, we're going to be going through the latest bit of news, of course, and is the visa they're all applying for. And also we've got another bit of good news as well. Spain's just announced they've extended the 3-month working visa, and now you can stay here for 12 months, actually come here looking for work, and if you do find work, you can then apply for the working visa. So before it was 3 months, that's been extended to 12 months. But now I'm going to tell you about this other visa, which they're all going for through the back door, really. And it's, yeah, a real popular one down in Murcia. As you know, there's all these different types of visas you can apply for. You've got the digital nomad, and then of course the golden visa's been scrubbed, and then you've got the non-lucrative visa. So we're going to go through all them today. But the one they're all going for now, a lot of the foreigners are going for this one in the region of Murcia. The way they're securing their visa is quite easy, really. They're enrolling on a vocational training course, and there's so many training courses that you can go for, and they're all going for it. And it's become one of the second most autonomous regions in Spain, where it's really popular for some reason. I'm not sure why it's so popular down in Murcia, but that's where they're all going for these vocational training courses, and that is another way to get into Spain. Granted, near enough 20% of these permits, and it's doubled the national average. In 2023, they reckon there was almost 8,000 foreign citizens allowed temporary residence through these permits in Murcia. It was a lot higher than the national average. The only other place to come second was in the Basque country, and that was 20%. They are making the requirements a little bit stricter come May. Currently the regulations are not going to require applicants to take to like a long full vocational training qualifications, but they've got to obtain this Origa por Formación, which is from the 2025 onwards. And they're saying, yeah, they're going to be a real lot tighter with these applications. Saying you're going to have to start applying to do a lot longer courses. Finding that, you know, you've got some kind of degree or specialist vocational qualifications to qualify for this residence. So if you want to come to Spain and you want to find another way of becoming a resident without having to go through all these other visas, this is a resident visa they're all going for. If you want to come to Spain, there is lots of types of different kind of working permits, and we're going to let you know what they are. Some nationalities are going to be requiring a visa and to legally live and work in Spain. And there, of course, as you know, all these several types of working visas come with exceptions. It depends with quite a few factors, including where you live, your country, your residential status, and of course your employment situation. So who's going to need one of these working permits? Also, where you're going to apply for it? Well, I'll tell you where you're going to be applying for these. There's two big main branches in Spain, the authorities that you'll be dealing with, and that's the Immigration Authority, the Ministry de Inclusión, the Seguridad and Social Migration, and the Social Security of Migration. So yeah, you're going to have to apply. If you do want any of these permits, you're going to deal with these two big branches in Spain. And yeah, one of them's the Ministry of Inclusion and the Social Security of Immigration. The Labour and Employment Authorities, which come under the Ministry of Labour and Social Security. Actually, if you're from an EU country or EEA or Swiss citizen, moving to Spain, it's simple. You can just live and work and study in the country without any restriction, and you can come and do whatever you like, basically. But if you come from one of these so-called third country nationals, which they're putting the UK under now, you're going to need one of these permits to work Going to have to secure a proper employment contract before they can apply for one. And the UK citizens also, they want to come to Spain to live and work after Brexit, you'll also need a residence or a work visa called Visado de Trabajo and Residencia. There is lots of different types of work permits. One's for the specially highly trained professional people, and then you've got the ones that just want to do the holiday seasonal permits where they just come and go. Seasonal one only gives you 1 year in Spain. These are permits you can apply for, and they're actually around about 60 to 80 euros. And they're the long-term visas, but if you get turned down, you ain't going to get refunded your money. I'll let you know what you do at the end of the video if you do get turned down from any of these visas, and how you can appeal an appeal process. Also, there's another visa you're going to go for, which is an employment visa. And before you get one of these work permits, you've got to have a proper job offer from the employer. The employer's the one that's got to request this work permit for you to legally work in Spain, and permits are available for specific sectors as well. So actually it's possible to change a job as long as it's in the same sort of field that you're already doing. But they're saying on this work permit you can't apply for a job while you're working in Spain. If you're applying for a work permit in Spain as well, you've got to make sure that you apply from the consulate or the embassy from your own country. So yeah, working visas for employed people, and before you get one of these work employment visas, which is a Sequente Agena people, and before you get one of these work employment visas, you must first have a job offer, and your employer must then request a work permit for you, and that'll to make you legally be in Spain. It says on this type of visa that it's really important that if you've applied for this visa, you can't work in Spain, because the immigration authorities consider the application submitted in Spain to be illegal and will be rejected by the application as soon as when you're applying for work permit in Spain. So be sure to apply from your own country, your consulate or your embassy. And a lot of the time the Spanish government will kind of grant these kind of work permits, especially if they're in areas where there's shortage of jobs, certain jobs they need to fill, and they think you're going to fill that job, then they're more likely to grant you the visa. I say that your employer should submit the application for work permit to the provincial office, the Ministry of Labour. And while this is being processed, the Spanish government will send you a copy, an application, and that will get a stamp from the main office, and that's the one that's going to be responsible for giving you the visa. And that'll have the file number on, and that'll give you all the information, and then you can send it to the Spanish embassy, part of your visa application, and then the embassy will then inform you, the regional labour office, that if it's in application, and the labour office that is dealing with the process. And that'll have the file number on, and that'll give you all the information, and then you can send it to the Spanish embassy, part of your visa application, and then the embassy will then inform you, the regional labour office, that if it's in application, and the labour office that is dealing with the process. It can take up to 8 months as well. Once the office approves the work permit, the embassy will then issue work and resident visa, and a work permit is valid for only a year, but you can renew it as long as you carry on fulfilling the conditions. Then after 5 years you can get a copy, and then you can start going for your permanent residential visa. Then yeah, once that's all done, after 5 years you can go for the permanent residence in Spain. We've got the other, the seasonal workers, and that is if you do want to come here and you definitely want to do a bit of work in here, and if you're from a non-EU country, then you're going to have to need a residence permit or a work and a resident visa. This one as well comes with some requirements. It's really almost the same as the employment one, but there are a few little additional requirements. Your employer must provide accommodation in conditions, and also the employer must pay your travel cost. And you've got to fill in this contract to say that you've got to return to your country after. Actually, before you actually apply for this work and residential visa, your employer's got to obtain a work permit, and that is from the Provincial of Aliens of the Affairs Office from an official Department of Labour in a different autonomous community. Once the work permit has been authorised, then the residence permit is granted together with a work permit, and the Provincial of Alien Affairs Office then once the works permit has been authorised, you must apply for a work and resident visa, and that at the Spanish Embassy of Consulate, and that is in your own country where you live, and that will allow you to work and of course enter Spain. And that's the same as the other one really. It can take around 9 months for all that to go through. You have got the blue card, so if you're thinking about going with a blue card, which is a resident permit for highly qualified people, and this one allows people from the EU countries to recruit and employ skilled third country nationals. And Spain issued 39 EU blue cards. That was back in 2019, mind you, so I should imagine it's gone up quite a lot now. But yeah, it was quite a lot less then as well than the Germans, the Polish and the French. Because these other countries, Poland, Germany and France, they issued out 28,800 then. So yeah, quite a lot. And you're looking at 418 euros when you apply for this one as well. I suppose you want to know the requirements for it. Basically, you've got to be a bit super clever for this one, because you've got to have a higher education qualifications, and took 3 years to complete. So basically, you've got to be a bit of a boffin for this one, because they're saying it's going to let you work at this higher education qualification, and it allows you to work at this high level of professional capacity. So yeah, and you have to have a minimum of 5 years of professional experience at the same level as well. They're saying you also need a work contract or a legally binding job offer. The work must have at least a salary of 1.5 times or 1.2 for the job that you're already in particular demand. And that is the average wage in Spain. So currently the minimum average salary in Spain for the blue card at the time, back in 2020 this was just around about 34,000 euros. Again, the employer's got to apply for this application on your behalf, and doing with all the documents about the job, the evidence, and that the EU citizen could fill in the position, and the information all about your qualifications, all your passport details, and that you've got the health insurance, and yeah, the full lot really. It's all got to be done by the employer. Of course, if you're lucky enough, and once the old Spanish authorities approve it, you then got to apply to get your EU blue card, and yeah, once you get it and you've got it and you've been approved for this EU blue card, then you've got to apply for the visa at the Spanish embassy, and that's in your own country again. And you need again a medical insurance, of course your passport, the copy of your contract. You must not have a criminal record, because you won't get it if you've got a criminal record. And then once you receive the visa, you've got 3 months to enter Spain. But the blue card's only for a year, but after the year you can reapply again. And that's of course if you meet all the conditions. And then your blue EU card, you can travel and enter other EU states as well. And they're saying that the EU card states for up to 3 months to within a 6-month period. After 18 months, you can move to another EU state. However, you must apply for an EU card there as well. This is the one you've all been waiting for. Anyone that wants to come over here and they're self-employed. So we've got a self-employed visa. This is the visa, all about being your own boss in Spain. And yeah, sounds really good, doesn't it? But yeah, a lot of people do apply for this. And you might want to consider becoming self-employed and see what the Spanish refer to and the authorities. And depending on how long it takes, depends where you're from, of course. It's going to take a lot longer now. We're left the EU if you're coming from Britain and you're applying for one of these visas. But of course, if you're part of the EU, you ain't got to worry about applying for a visa. It's all for the people that are non-EU citizens. So a self-employment work permit allows you to work as a freelancer, and the requirements are, if you want to apply for this one, first of all, you've got to have no criminal crime record in the country that you've lived in the last 5 years. That is one of them they're going to knock you back on. And of course, you've got to be a professional in what you're doing. You've got to have the qualifications. So they're going to need the evidence that, you know, you ain't just saying that you're a doctor or you're a bricklayer. You're going to have to prove your professional skills. You're going to have to show them evidence as well as your sufficient financial resources. And of course, you're going to have to, you know, show them everything, basically, that you've got all the money and you've got your no criminal record. If you want to come and do the work employment visa, because they're not just going to give it out to someone who says, yeah, I want to come to Spain on one of these work employment visas. If you do get one of these visas and they let you have one of them, good news for you, because it will let you live and work in Spain for up to a year, and then you can renew the visa for 2 years and then repeat this until you've reached 5 years work. And you can start applying for the residence. So yeah, that's quite a good one. A lot of people are going for this one as well, apart from the non-lucrative and the digital nomad visas, which incidentally, I'll post that up the top there. Anyone wants to check them visas out. But there is other types of visas you can go for. Of course, you've got the work visa in Spain for family members. So family members that can join from non-EU relatives who have been living in Spain up to a year and hold a resident permit for a further year. By applying for a family reunification visa, once approved, family members can work in a country without needing a work permit. So yep, if you're a non-EU national, which is most of them in Brits of course, and other non-EU countries, and you've got a relative in Spain, you can come to Spain without needing to wait for a year. You can also work without a permit. So family members of those who hold an EU blue card can apply for a temporary resident permit without needing to wait for a year, as long as they meet the conditions. If you're really unlucky and you get turned down for any of these visas, there is a complaint you can fill in. And yeah, I'm going to let you know what that is, because not everyone's going to get the golden ticket to come to Spain. You're bound to get oops and turned down. But yeah, best advise as well that you do all this through a very professional lawyer, because they will know the system. So yeah, if you do get turned down, this is what you need to do. So you've been turned down by the Spanish government, and now the application form has to go to an agency of the Spanish embassy in your country, and this will allow you to explain why you disagree with the decision they come up with. So yeah, once the embassy examines the appeal, and a visa application will be granted or rejected. If you don't receive a written reply within a month from the date you appealed, then you should consider the decision as final. So yeah, you apply and you don't agree with it, you've gone through the embassy, you've told them all the reasons why you disagree, and they say, nope, sorry, we're not happy. Basically, they're saying once you've applied to your embassy and you've told them what you disagree about, if you don't hear anything in a month, that's it, case closed. And yeah, you've lost your visas, you've been turned down. But, however, you can apply for a second appeal. This one goes to a different place altogether. This goes to the Spanish tribunals, and they're the ones that will come across your complaint and appeal, and that is definitely when you need a lawyer to go through that channel. So if you're that desperate and you've been turned down, you're going to have to lay out for a lawyer and go through the tribunal system in Spain. Yep, that's today's visas and all the other visas you want to know. I've done many videos or posts around here, and if you find this video helpful, give us a thumbs up, and if you can support the channel anyway and buy me a coffee, I appreciate that. And of course, all the subscribers, I really appreciate your following. And the other thing is the channel members. Of course, if you want to become a channel member, you'll get to see all these videos as soon as they're uploaded straight away. Everything's down in the description. So we're going to be meeting the three amigos as well. So yeah, if you want to find out more information about America visas, anything you want to know, especially down in Los Angeles, so yeah, make sure you check out the other videos up there and you'll get to find out more about Spain and America.